Hello everyone and welcome back to our newest installment of Why the Hell Do We Care? Today, all our recruits are from Dynasty Warriors, so let's get started with Lu Meng from Wu. Lu Meng was born in 178 AD and joined the cast way back in Dynasty Warriors 2. He started out as just a warrior fighting for Wu, but after Sun Quan told him to study more, he becomes very studious and well learned. He takes over the role as main strategist for Wu after Zhou Yu's death, and is probably best known for killing Guan Yu. According to Wu's storyline in 8, Wu lent an area of land to Shu so they could attack Wei easier. Wu eventually wanted it back, but Guan Yu kept on refusing to let them have their land back. So when Guan Yu attacked Wei's fallen castle, Lu Meng led an attack on Guan Yu, causing Shu to lose both the battle and Guan Yu. Who actually lands the final blow to Guan Yu changes based on perspective, but Lu Meng gets the honor in several of the games. He is also the mentor to my favorite character in the Dynasty Warrior series. Lu Meng is an honest and steadfast man who thinks about consequences of his actions both on and off the field. Now let's see if he can wield his pike as well as he leads an army. Lu Meng is a power type. His S-string is kind of slow, but he has the range to work around it. His C2 is a throwing launcher, which is nice for setting up combos. His C4 is a rather generic crowd clearer, but it does its job well. His C5 is a launcher that combos into a nice throw with his EX attack. His C6 doesn't look really all that interesting, but it hits all around him. His ground R1 is actually an aerial combo that finishes with a nice fireball to the face. And his aerial is a decent launcher to aerial combo. His Miso is a pretty good flaming charge with some good distance and damage. His passive is power, which is nice in power teams. Overall, Lu Meng is kind of like Kiyomasa Kato. His moves aren't overly flashy, but they do their job well, and I actually like Lu Meng's character, so it's hard for me to hate the guy. Wei Yan joined the cast in Dynasty Warriors 3, but it is unknown when he was born. He joins up with Liu Bei when Han Zhuan falsely accused our old friend Huang Zhang of betraying him to Liu Bei. Wei Yan slays Han Zhuan and rescues Huang Zhang, and then swears fealty to Liu Bei. He is fiercely loyal to Liu Bei and is willing to do anything for him. However, after Liu Bei's death, his relationship with Shu's main strategist Zhuge Liang becomes very strained. During the Battle of Wuzhong Plains, Zhuge Liang accuses Wei Yan of betrayal and orders Ma Dai to kill him. Whether or not he dies changes in game, but historically Ma Dai kills Wei Yan. Personality-wise, Wei Yan is a very odd character. He is still fiercely loyal to Liu Bei, but in game he is always wearing a mask that changes between each game, and speaks extremely slowly and stilted. He wields what is called a double-bladed Volge, so let's see how he wields it. Wei Yan is a power type, and a fairly fun one. The man was born to clear out large crowds with a lot of wide-hitting attacks and some decent speed. His S-string has a lot of wide swings to it and has average attack speed. His C3 is a nice multi-hit combo that can stun. His C4 is a lot like Lu Meng's, just a wide swing that knocks everything back. His C5 can knock up multiple enemies, and the EX lightning somersault follow-up is pretty cool. His C6 hits in a wide range all around him multiple times and finishes up with a big shockwave to knock everything back. His ground R1 is an unblockable throw where he just headbutts his foe. His aerial R1 is a lot like his C5 EX attack where he channels his inner Blanca and lightning somersault through his foes. His Miso has him channel the power of breakdancing to summon a tornado and slaughter everything around him. His passive is Vitality, which boosts the health bars of the team. Overall, Wei Yan is pretty fun to play as. His C5 works well versus officers, and his C6 slaughters groups like you wouldn't believe. It is unknown when Meng Huo was born, but he joined the cast in Dynasty Warriors 3. In the games, both himself and Zhu Rong pretty much only show up in Shu's non-mon campaigns. They sometimes show up in some of the final major battles as reinforcements, but other than that, the non-mon campaign is what they have. After Liu Bei's death, Zhuge Liang led the Shu forces to subjugate the non-mon, and Meng Huo actually managed to get some decent hits against Shu. Meng Huo used elephants, which many of the Shu soldiers didn't even know existed, and wooden armor to protect his army from Shu's arrows. However, Zhuge Liang realized things, like wooden armor burns real good if they used fire. Meng Huo loses 7 times to Zhuge Liang and is set free 7 times before he willingly surrenders. Personality-wise, Meng Huo is a lovable fat idiot, kind of like Peter Griffin from Family Guy. If you're looking at him and wondering where the fat part came from, he recently got a muscle builder makeover. He used to look like this. He dearly cares for his people and does all he can for them. Ding Fang shares the gauntlet weapon type with Meng Huo, although Meng Huo did it first, so let's see how he does with it. Meng Huo is a power type, and unlike most characters who share a weapon, his moveset is not shared by Ding Fang. His C3 is pretty much the same, but it has his EX attack, where he just bear charges through his foes. His C4 is pretty fun, with him just belly flopping on his victim. His C5 hits in a nice area a couple of times before launching, and his C6 gets a lot of points for him pretty much using his opponent as a battering ram before slamming him away. His ground R1 is an attack combo with a lot of knockup, and his aerial is a launcher to a grab that is ridiculously hard to get right. I had to record this about 10 times before I actually got it right. His Musou is pretty much Meng Huo unleashing his inner Zangief and slamming a sucker in a glorious spinny overdone fashion. His passive is Vitality, which boosts everyone's health. When it comes to my wrestle-loving glove wearers, I personally like Meng Huo better. Part of that is nostalgia since he has used the weapon type since 3, but hey, it's good to be the king. Zhu Rong is the fictional wife of Meng Huo and joined the cast alongside her husband in Dynasty Warriors 3. She is said to be the daughter of the god of fire, and in the book the games are based on, she is the only female character who actually fights in battle. Other than that, there really isn't anything to be said that I didn't already say about Meng Huo, as their story is extremely intertwined as she fights alongside her husband. In the games, she is like Lois Griffin to Meng Huo's Peter. She is intelligent and aggressive, while Meng Huo is more dim and lovable. She shares the knight's weapon set with Wang Yuanji, so let's see her spin on them. Zhu Rong is a wonder type, and I admit, I thought she was an exactly of Wang Yuanji for a while. I was nice to Wang Yuanji earlier to try to be fair to her, but I'll be honest, I hate the knife moveset for the lone reason that its S-string has no hit stun and Zhu Rong fares no better. Her C3 is a throw, which is nice, but has the problem of forcing her to be near enemies. Her C4 is Yuanji's C6, her C5 is Yuanji's C4 with the exception of the EX attack attached to it, where she shotguns flaming knives. Her C6 is a charging attack that again gets her closer to enemies and you really don't want her doing that. Her ground R1 adds fire to all her attacks, which can add quite a bit of damage to her juggle combos. Her aerial has her kick a fireball into the ground which explodes. Her Musou has her summon a giant fireball above her head that she punches and damages all around her. Her passive is regeneration, which boosts Musou recovery while inactive. Overall, Zhu Rong is heavily held back by the knife moveset not causing hit stun. Her EX attack is good and I like her Musou attack, and thankfully she got her boomerang moveset back in 8 and she really kicks ass with it there. Well, that's it for this episode of Why the Hell Do We Care? Today we met a strategist, William Shatner, and the Family Guy pair. I hope you all will join me again next time for our next batch of new recruits.